So I wanted to draw your attention to a recent article by the BBC where they talked about how Canada plans to bring in 1.5 million immigrants by 2025. The work has already started. Canada is filled with immigrants, like in the US. You have some people feel it's an immigrant crisis, people crossing the border. In Canada, it happens, I would say, comparatively more legally, a lot of legal channels for immigrants, a lot of different programs across Canada where tons and tons and tons of immigrants are pouring in. And some of these are wealthy immigrants. As a result, obviously, there's a shortage of jobs. They're taking up more jobs and more opportunities inside of Canada. Obviously, when you have so many people flocking in, especially wealthy immigrants coming into Canada, the housing prices are already very high and they only go up further and further, making life a lot more unaffordable and unsustainable for the local Canadian population. Now, a lot of Canadians are looking to exit Canada for two main reasons. One is they aren't earning enough. The competition has drastically gone higher because now you have all these struggling immigrants coming in. Canada wants to get in more and more and more of these immigrants because then they can compete for the jobs, they can find the right kind of paying jobs, they can bring about that change that Canada is looking for, higher taxes, higher revenues for the government, so the government can obviously utilize those funds and function much better. Now, the traditional Canadians, a lot of them are feeling the pressure, not that they haven't already started, but exceedingly, you're going to see a lot more Canadians getting fed up of the whole financial situation, not being able to earn enough, feeling the pressure of the inflation, the rising prices, unaffordability of the homes. Now you see so many Canadians living the van life, switching over to RVs and moving out of the country, crossing across to the US, traveling to Mexico, setting shop in Mexico. A lot of these Canadians are moving to third world countries for a cheaper life. Now, one thing I wanted to particularly bring up is the pollution levels. Now, some Canadians consider Dubai. Recently, there was Hamza. Now, Hamza is a very popular YouTube influencer who moved to Dubai, and he ran away in a month. Now, he had faced some significant health issues in Dubai. I think he stayed there for just under a month. He started bleeding from his nose or some issues that he faced, and he decided to immediately quit Dubai because he could feel some pollution, thickness in the air, thick air full of pollution. So he couldn't take it because obviously he came from a country like Canada, the UK, which has much fresher, nicer, cleaner air. So getting into a country like Dubai wasn't his cup of tea. Some people are fine in Dubai. A lot of workers from Asian countries, they earn a daily living. They live in that pollution. They're fine. They're okay. Their system is adjusted to that kind of pollution levels coming from their home countries. But especially someone from Canada, UK, any of these countries considers a third world country one thing, and Dubai is by no means a third world country, but the pollution levels are some of the highest that you can find around. Same is the case with Mexico City. A lot of people want to live in the cities, but Mexico City again has that thick, dense layer of pollution, and it all it can be avoided. Obviously, you can choose other parts of Mexico, but there's certain cities that you have to be careful with when you're moving out for a cheaper life, for a less expensive life. Let's say you don't have the means, you cannot afford it, and you're deciding to move to a third world country. Then obviously you have to take into account certain things that you get in your home country, like clean air, fresh air, free healthcare, and all of those kind of things. Those drastically change when you step outside your home country, and let's say you're considering a third world country. One of the biggest messages I wanted to provide in this video is the pollution. You got to take the air that you breathe into account, because obviously you're moving and then you don't want to fall sick and run away, or fall sick and not find the right kind of healthcare in the country that you're moving to. Now, in case you've missed that video on Hamza, you can return and take a look at this video. In this video, I talk about his situation, how he chose to move to Dubai. Now, I don't know if he made a mistake or not, but in less than a month, I believe he ran away from Dubai. So again, a beautiful country. It's just that not everyone's cup of tea. If that kind of pollution suits your lifestyle, then it's okay. And each country has variable pollution, so nothing against Dubai. It's a beautiful, great country. Works out for a lot of people. But if pollution is not, if those levels of pollutions don't work for you, then obviously you have to consider other options. Now, there are several other options, alternatives that you can consider around the world. There are a lot of beautiful places in Eastern Europe, the Balkans. There's some residency options in the Balkans that can be worked out, which are fairly straightforward. So you want to move from one pollution-free zone to another pollution-free zone, then Europe or Eastern Europe or even the Balkans is a good place to consider. Again, if you're looking for options, if you want to discuss what is the best relocation spot in your particular circumstances, you can always click the link in the description. Book a call with us. We can discuss all the residencies that are available in Latin Americas. There's Paraguay, Ecuador, Panama, Uruguay, Chile, which are very interesting options in the Latin Americas if you speak Spanish and if that's where you want to go. And if not, if you're looking for a more Western centric zone, then you have all of Europe, Eastern Europe, Balkans at your disposal. So you can always reach us, we can have the discussion, and we can figure out or jointly figure out what is the best residency in your situation. And then also I think what is very important is to work on that second passport. So when you are choosing a residency, if your end goal is to get a citizenship out from that residency, then you have to be smart with this. You have to accordingly split your time so you're working on either one or more citizenships in future. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel.